Barney's Big World Adventure, the movie, is a Barney special from 2011. Although it's called the movie, it's not really any different to any other Barney and Friends special. Not that that's a bad thing. It's still enjoyable. It's still got a lot of information, a lot of songs and stories, but I wouldn't say it really needs the suffix the movie because it's not really any different. I guess the thing that makes it slightly different is that they travel to other locations, but again, there are Barney specials where that happens. And in this one, Barney and two children go off in a hot air balloon to visit different cultures and different countries. And I will say, I feel like the pacing was a bit slow. They could have packed in a few more locations and maybe didn't spend quite as much time. Not that I think they should have rushed through everything, but they could have explored a greater variety without really losing anything. But what we did get was still pretty interesting. For example, we go to Spain and we have some traditional Spanish costumes and a lot of Spanish vocabulary. And I won't go into details of all the places, but we go to Hawaii and we have hula dancing and several other locations. And I feel like we had a good mix of different kinds of cultures. But as I said, I feel like they could have had a few more examples in there to really show that things are different in different parts of the world. But I like that we have different languages, different dances, different costumes. The set designs were really good. We even had a couple of animals. I won't say which animals featured, but that was a nice surprise and not something that I expected. We also have some stories, which of course give us some important morals. We have one about King Midas with BJ as King Midas turning everything into candy, which I thought was a very fun version. And we have one of my favourite songs, Lemon Drops and Gumdrops. Or what's that song actually called? I think it might be called Lemon Drops and Gumdrops, but you know which song I mean. I love it. We had a couple of other songs as well that I liked, but for the most part, the songs for me weren't that nostalgic. So for me, this wasn't the most entertaining because I watch Barney for the nostalgia. But that aside, I can still see that it's very informative, educational, fun, very engaging, so many bright colours, vivid images, costumes, dances, so much to look at that actually it is a real credit to the Barney series. And yeah, I feel like they could have gone to a few other locations instead of dragging things out a bit, as I felt like a couple of them went on for a lot longer than they needed to. But again, at least they're still educational and still providing an insight into basically showing that there are different places in the world where things are, celebrated in different ways. Dances are different, language is different. It gets the message across that we can celebrate different cultures. And I suppose the samples of different cultures were not too bad. So it's pretty decent, very educational, very well put together. The pacing's not the best, but in general, Barney's Big World Adventure is pretty good, and I'd say a credit to the series.